Oh, fuck this limited storage space on that mobile device. But at least it ended at a good time right when I was on my first page. But still, I want to make this all one. So I guess I can, edit. But it would be nice to be all on one camera. But, here's some more perspective. Alrighty, Zane. So, why was I not aborted? Or at least taken from that female and her put in a fucking facility? Because really, that would have been fair. That would have been equal. That would have been justified. That would have been moral. That would have been disciplinary. That would have been humanitarian. No. You let her get away with it and you gave the baby back. Knowing she's already fucked up and this baby's now fucked up. Why? Hashtag BFB. What is hashtag BFB? Babies for benefits. That's right. The government systemically allows this type of shit to happen to children to buy votes. It's a leftist, communist thing. It is completely anti-American. It is completely ungodly. And it violates everything in the Ten Commandments. Alright, let's see. What is BFB? Why does it cause extremely high rates of child abuse and the extremes of those child abuses? See, doesn't just cause child abuse, it causes extremes in those child abuses. Do you see the pandemic? Do you see the tragedy? Do you see why I'm so passionate to do something about it? Because not only is it just increasing the rate of it, it's increasing the extremes. And I know I've been through it all. I'm a living example of it. Alrighty then. BFB stands for Babies for Benefits. The direct cause for this child abuse pandemic and promotion is welfare and child support. I got one. Hashtag DAC or hashtag LAC, which stands for hashtag Democrats Abuse Children, which is synonymous with hashtag Leftist Abuse Children. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you're a Democrat, a modern Democrat, you're a leftist. If you're a leftist, you're pro-Marxist and anti-American. If you're a pro-Marxist, anti-American, where was I going with that? Anyway, my point is, you can't call yourself politically correct or social justice warrior or leftist or Democrat. Anything on that side now isn't just a little scale. No, it's a. If you're a Democrat, you're a leftist. If you're a leftist, you're a Marxist. If you're a Marxist, you're an anti-American. And you're all of these and one of these, all at the same. And we call it child abusers. You are a child abuser, or you promote child abuse and the legality of it. Let's see. Sorry, guys. All right, then we got hashtag TTT and TTO. All right. Why could hashtag TTO and maybe hashtag TTT be real solutions? Well, it stands for take the ovaries and take the testicles. I believe this should be forced on anyone not reproductively responsible. If you can't pay the bill, the hospital bill for delivery, the baby is not yours and is removed. You do not get to take care of that baby if you haven't got yourself to the position to be able to pay that hospital bill and, premeditatedly prepared to have that child. Then the ovaries are taken because you're a victim of child abuse. You had the baby when you couldn't afford it. You already abused that child by conceiving it. Your ovaries are gone. That's it. Any sexual irresponsibility, your ovaries are gone for life. It's it. It's over. On the equal flip side, a genetic test is mandatory, and the male is then forced to have his testicles removed as well. No exceptions. Hey, we could be on our way to redemption with this. Now what to do with child abusers? Again, part of the complex that keeps me suffering non-stop, all day, every day, in every way. I'm a child abuse victim. I've done good in my life. I shouldn't be suffering non-stop all day, every day, especially when there's treatments and things out there. And for the most part, humans just need to stop hurting each other and be humanitarian. But all right, now what to do with child abusers? I believe in the death penalty. It will solve the problem both short and long term, and fix a lot of what is wrong with our economy and healthcare at the same time. Let's discuss this, because I already know some of you are going to argue, and I've already got my points backed up with fact, knowledge, research, and I'm ready to engage. Come on, bring it. This needs to be especially true, the death penalty for sexual abuse or physical trauma. You punch your baby, or you molest or fuck your baby, going to the death penalty. End of story. No ifs, ands, or buts. And it's immediate death penalty too. It's not like put them in prison for 10 or 20 years. No, it's like within a undeniable, provable conviction of this, within 12 months, or even 60 days, you're gone. It's over. You're done. You're going to hell, where you belong. These humans cannot be healed and need to be sent to hell immediately. Stop paying these humans to hurt children. The Democrats buying votes, using welfare, and child support. Yeah, putting men in prison and leaving these irresponsible, the females who actually committed a child abuse. See, your body, your rights, fucking shit. And that female gets pregnant, it's her fault. It's the male's fault as well, but is the female's responsibility. That male should never have anything to do with child support. If the female wants to get pregnant, she should make sure that man is involved in their life, and she should be able to do that on her own. There doesn't need to be any kind of weird contracts or anything like that. But the Democrats don't want that. The nuclear family does not belong. Males belong in prison. or on the slave farm, and females belong popping out babies and abusing them to incorporate them into the system. Sounds like a wonderful existence to me, doesn't it? Ugh. Alrighty then. So, stop paying these humans to hurt children and end welfare and child support. Oh, and also end access to health care you cannot afford. If you can't afford the health care, there is no taking care of you and then giving you a bill. Or, and maybe in an EMS situation, you get the bill and you start making payments on it. If you don't, next time you call that ambulance, it's like, well, you're not even making payments on your last one? We can't send an ambulance out to you. Click. Not shitting you. And I'll explain why that makes a lot of sense in a moment, in another video. Alright, fuck it. This is it. I just called yesterday for treatment for my ADHD and my bipolar disorder. I found a treatment center that's going to address those two in particular and then work on the anxiety disorders. Got it all the way through until they said, well, we don't accept your insurance. What good is insurance for then? I was like, all right, look, I get $1,050 in disability. I'm willing to give it all of that to you for treatment. They're like, well, you understand this is inpatient for 30 days. I said, okay, that, I'm not saying I'm not capable of that. So, where do I sign up? Well, you need $24,000. Well, that's almost 2 years of my income if I live penniless. And then I have to wait that long to go there for that treatment. If everything worked right, I'd have still had a job. And I'd be able to occupy myself with that, saving up the $24,000 to get this done. If this is the way it would have been presented to me 13 years ago when I first started having seizures. Or if I could have got a loan for that $24,000 and worked it off, but got to that treatment center and then got back to work. Could have taken $24,000 one time to get me on my own and solve this problem I have for what it's worth. Nope. Instead, you spend $35,000 to $100,000 on a single, or well, I take it back. You spend between $10,000 and $30,000 on a single seizure episode, generalized seizure episode. When I don't want that help, somebody else call that for me. They should be responsible for it if they really care that much. Two, again, $10,000 and $30,000 hospital bills coming every other month, and I'm only making, between $13,000 and $14,000, about $14,000 a year, take home. And I'm over here feeding this fucking, $600 to $800 a month of fucking, marijuana and then eventually synthetic cannabis fucking habit, self-medicating this because just there is no help out there, man, for child abuse victims. They fucking want you to suffer tragically and cause so much devastation and horror and just grow up to abuse more children. That's all they want. Ugh. Alright, I'm sorry. I fucking went off in the wrong direction. But you see my point. One time, $24,000, if all this would have been just brought up and no stigma and no misdiagnosis and none of this fucking stupid ass goddamn fucking bullshit, instead of being $3 to $5 million in hospital debt, I'd have paid a $24,000 hospital bill out of pocket and been on the and recovered long time ago. And now I'm on disability and in poverty, and that treatment, gone. Ain't no way I'm getting it. $24,000 up front, ain't no way I'm getting it in this lifetime without winning a lawsuit. In fact, I need to tell my dad that. If he's gonna, because he really doesn't want me filing lawsuits, because he doesn't want me to be this millennial, you know, whatever. But he has to accept me as an activist against child abuse. And part of this activism against child abuse, you know what I'm saying, is involving these lawsuits. They have to be done. That's the only way to discipline the people in authority that are encouraging the systemic abuse of children. I need to explain that to them. You know what I'm saying? This is a country founded on freedom and rights. Every time they call it, they call an ambulance when I have a seizure, and then force me, they expect me to pay that $10,000 to $35,000 hospital each time. Let's not even include the fucking Baker Acts. You know what I'm saying? You expecting me to pay all those bills? I didn't make the choice to do it, and I can't afford them. I don't want it. And 9 out of 10, or even greater, 19 out of 20, I didn't even need it. It was totally useless to come on the scene, pick me up, haul me off to the hospital, and then force me to find a way back to my job or back home, you know, back to my job to go get in my vehicle and drive home. And of course, you know, after the second time that happened and I wrecked my vehicle, or after several times that happened and I wrecked my vehicle, there goes my license. So now I'm walking everywhere. And my feet are fucked up for birth defect too. I can't walk more than a few miles without my feet just fucking aching and starting to blister up to the point of bleeding. And I bet y'all love it. I bet y'all love watching this suffering. You're probably getting off on it. However, like I said, this is a country founded on freedom and rights. Well, when are we going to uphold these rights of our most vulnerable, like we do the real criminals and abusers? Where's the equality? Where's the justice? It's lost in politics and vote buying and manipulation. Amen. Let's pause for reflection. Like I said, Democrats promote child abuse. The Democrat has become an extreme leftist and nothing else. These are Marxist. You know what? That's one for our next video. This is almost 20 minutes. Let's start again. Alright. Pause for reflection. Democrats promote child abuse. The Democrat has become an extreme leftist and nothing else. These are Marxist / communist, or actually, in parentheses, communist. Okay, these are communist, Marxist, socialist terrorists who have infiltrated our country. I had said civil war, but they are not really Americans. They are anti-American terrorists, for real. Keep in mind, terror comes in many forms. Some are subtle and discreet, yet are just as devastating. And of course, paying immigrants to vote when anyone not an American citizen is not legally allowed to vote? Well, the fault of us Republicans is allowing it to get so out of control. The war really is capitalism versus communism. Don't tread on me. And yes, I am xenophobic of the Chinese. Whatever. Fuck the Chinese and its population. And then we're going to get back into that comorbid death sentence part 2. Stigma. You know what? Fuck that. I'm adding this to the last video, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to comorbid diseases in a separate category. Again, strive for progress. So